It's okay, buddy. Shh. Shh. All right. There we are. Turn this down. All right, so I know I haven't been on here in a while, so we probably don't have as many people popping on. There's a couple people. So hi, everyone. Hi, Kathy. Very nice to see you. I should have worn my glasses. I realize when I do this that I should be wearing my glasses because I can't see as far as I think I can see any longer. Hi, Sherry. Semi-cloudy. Yeah, we have some major thunderstorms rolling through Maryland today. We had a real crazy one this morning. Hi, Jackie. Good morning. I wanted to tell you guys also, if you are a customer of mine, I got mine in the mail yesterday because I always mail myself one so I know when you guys will get one. So hopefully you'll be getting yours very soon. Hi, Debbie. It's been a while. Just a little. Hi, Amy. Mary, hello from Florida. Thanks for joining. Amy, I keep meaning to send you a message. I'm going to send you a Facebook message. I'm going to try to remember when we're done. Hi, Kathy. We were just chatting about the weather. We're getting Ohio's weather several hours later, which is kind of crazy, but at least we're sharing our weather, right? If we can't stamp together. So I thought today we would make one of the cards that we made at Club recently. I have a couple different versions of it, sample-wise here, so I'll show it to you. It uses the Bamboo Beauty stamp set, and actually this is a card that they created in the new catalog. Hold on, I'll pull it out and show it to you here. And what, oh, where's my page? Now my page marker ran away. Hold on. I'm gonna peruse this while I'm gonna look for it while I chat. So they make great cards in here, and sometimes they'll use things with totally different color schemes, which is kind of nice because sometimes when you see something in a certain color scheme, it's kind of hard to get that image out of your mind. Like, for example, the Sun Prince, which is beautiful, I'm sure looks fabulous if you do it in a non-blue. You're visiting your daughter in Oregon. Yeah, it's definitely been, I mean, we had really, really loud thunder, a lot of lightning, but it wasn't really bad. But apparently there's a pretty bad windstorm coming through later. So I'm guessing that's what we'll be getting. So I did do a little bit off of the color scheme. And if you see this, you'll recognize it. But this is the general layout I went with the card. Now, I didn't do wide side to side, but I think I'm going to do it this time. They used crushed curry. And I swapped it out more for a pink because I kind of like that a little bit more. But this is a really easy card to create. Pick 3 colors, 3 that are complementary. And I also didn't like the sentiment in the same color, which it is nice, but it wasn't my favorite. So it's hot and humid here in Maryland too. We are always humid in Maryland. It's pretty crazy, but I'm used to it, so that's okay. It's funny because occasionally it is so chilly in our house, I'll go outside to warm up, which is ridiculous, but that's the way it is, right? So we're going to make this really simple card today. So I did, the only thing that I added to it, and I don't know if you can see this, but when we go down, I added a little bit of that rose gold, and then there's also a regular gold glimmer paper. I think it's still called glimmer paper, but that did, or is, I should say, carrying over to the new catalog, or the catalog that's kind of already in progress. I don't even know what you want to call them. There's so many daggone catalogs. It's the gold and rose gold metallic, which is here. And it's really nice because I only used a little bit of it, and it really gave it a nice touch. So you had midnight. Wow, 80-mile-an-hour winds. That's crazy. I know you said you have that RV. That would be a little unnerving to be in an RV with that much wind. One other thing to mention, that we will be starting the second celebration on July 1st, which is really cool. And I'm going to tell you, hopefully you'll be getting yours soon because I'm not allowed to share this. And I didn't do my pre-order yet, but I really want to do it. But there, Kathy, there is a die set in here you're going to want. And I'm getting it just because this whole theme, if you're going somewhere and you're kind of catching the drift of what I mean, I cannot wait. Super, super fun. And also another thing that is in the mini catalog, and I did see someone share this on their pre-order, so I'll talk about it since I know that it has been shared, but they have, it's a pack. Sorry, I'm reaching for something. They have a pack. Now, granted, it's not this, but finally, the Embossing Buddy will be back. It's the Embossing Buddy. They have, not these, but they're a set of reverse tweezers, a little catch tray for your embossing powder, and I believe a brush, which just this and the tweezers are totally worth it for that. But if you already have gotten them somewhere else, that's totally acceptable as well. But I love that. That's one of my favorites. One other one I'm going to show you that I made for card class is this, and I thought there was an extra person coming and there was one less, so it was kind of nice because I made the next set when I came home the next day. So this, and it kind of gets a little bit lost in there, but you'll be able to see it on the second one. I actually embossed this with the bark, so there's a layer of bark paper under here. This is in just jade because I have a lot of it and I really like this color, so I was trying to use it up. You'll be able to see a little better on this one, but I used the fish dies, and I believe these ended when the last catalog just finished. They were really cute, and I love the fish. So I actually cut this out with that rainbow glimmer paper. So this one is more of a fish that's totally in camouflage, which probably is actually how fish really like to be. And then I had one that I just kind of cut a little bit different of the paper. This one I had a green fish underneath, so it actually looks like two because I have two of them layered together. So I'll take pictures of those and put those on the blog post with this. But anyway, we're going to get started. So I'm going to flip you down. So I do have to flip the camera around again because I have a different setup. So look away if you need to for a minute, and I will tell you when we're all in place. Let me move this, and hopefully that's going to fit in there. There we go. You can see I have a little bit of crazy stuff that I did. So Bamboo Beauty is the stamp set that we're going to be working with today. Also, so these are the cards. This is the first one I created. And I ended up using some of the, what is that stuff called? The linen, and I think this is retired as well, but just so you know, the braided linen trim, which I really liked. I can never keep track of the ribbons because they come and go so quickly. So I did that, and I just modified a punch, and I was kind of like, I liked it, but the pink was a little too pink. This was actually using polished pink. So polished pink, Old Olive, Mint Macaron. I was kind of like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. So then I changed to this one. So this is actually Flirty Flamingo, Old Olive, Mint Macaron. And then instead of using the punch, I used, this is a new set as well, and I can't remember the names of these, Stylish Shapes dies. So I don't know. I personally still think they're stitched. Somebody else said they were dots, but to me they kind of look stitched anyway. So I used the smallest stitched square, which I really like. I like these flags a lot. And then I did the underlay with the flag. And then this ribbon is actually, and this one I know is current, it's frayed ribbon. And I actually just cut it in half and used half of it. So there's that. And then when I made the one when I got home with my one extra piece, I used Calypso Coral. Brain fart. Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Mint Macaron. And then I just used the wider piece because I chose a different sentiment. So I used the second largest flag and then the thinner, smaller, thinner flag for the lay behind. This one is in rose gold and this one was just in regular gold. But I thought it was kind of pretty. So it was like a similar take on it, but also at the same time slightly different. Let me just put this away so I don't knock it down. And I'm thinking instead of doing mint, what I'm going to try is this time I'm going to actually do it on olive instead. And just see what it looks like as an alternate. So I have a piece of Old Olive. Just since that one's already cut, we'll use that. But I am going to use the, and I have to get a longer piece. I am going to make it, instead of trimming it down to 4 by 5 1/4, I'm going to make it so it's 4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit. And I may go a little bit farther with my trimming. I do need another white piece for the inside, so I might as well just keep that. Also, if you decide you don't necessarily want to use these sentiments, Peaceful Moments is still around, which has beautiful sentiments in it. And so does Paradise Palms. I have to try something different with this, but I just gave my friend some cards. She works with a bunch of teachers, and some of them are retiring. So I had this out because I use the retirement. And you know what I've decided? And I don't know if anybody else, maybe this is a thing and I just don't know it's a thing, but I'll ask you while I'm cutting this paper. Do we know if there is some sort of a sentiment tracker that we have either as demos or as customers? Because I tell you one thing, I'm going to trim this down a little bit more. I'm going to go down to 3 3/4. Let me go this way. Because when you're searching for a sentiment and you can't remember which, you're like, I know I have something that says that, but darn if I can't find it, that's going to be good. I'm going to go with that. So I ended up going with 3 3/4 by 5.5. But for the life of me, I could not find what I was looking for. So I sound like you too. But I just pulled out my stamp. So I'm wondering, is there some sort of a tracker for stamps so we know which sentiments are in which sets or what things say? If you all happen to know of that, or maybe you know that's of someone that has done it just on their own, let me know, because if not, that would be a huge resource to have. I think I'm going to go with this one instead. So I'm just going to mount these. That one's a little too small. Well, let me go back to where I was going to go. Square one. Let me get a bigger block. So we are out of school. We are officially out as of last Thursday. So we have had a couple days of nice weather, and then we kind of went to the humid, stormy weather. I don't even know really what you want to call that, but that's where we are. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do Old Olive first, just so I have that in the center. And I'm kind of just following a similar-ish pattern. So it has a bigger one, and then I just kept stamping until I couldn't stamp off any longer. I did just re-ink my Old Olive because we were pretty low. So I'm going to just put that here. We'll do this one first. Ooh, that is super juicy. I might have to stamp this off once just to see. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go here. And I want to bring another big one. Put that. Oh, I can't put that on the side, Rach, because you need that one. I did ink up my Stampin' scrub, so I shouldn't say ink it up. I got it wet so it's able to be cleaned, because we're going to need to do this a couple times. So same thing again. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you. And I'm just going to kind of flip where this is. I'm not going to re-ink this. I'm keeping this somewhat in the same area. You can definitely tell this will be a different color card because it's re-inked, so it might look completely different than my other one. So that was Old Olive. And I'm not going to put the mint on, which was the background card. So I want to pick a different color. I think I might go with, I wonder if Pear Pizzazz. That might be nice. Let's try Pear Pizzazz. So I'm just going to use the slim one first. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put this on the other side and then take it off, because I'm afraid if I go, I'm going to have not enough room for the little one. So let me add the big one on first. Go with that. Okay. So we'll do our large. Oh, that looks nice. Good. Okay, I'm going to clean this and then just pull this off. You guys would be so proud of me. I actually cleaned my desk, although it doesn't look like it right now because I just put all of my DSP everywhere. We will be having, I know it seems like a little bit early, but we will be having another DSP share coming up pretty soon, because the holiday catalog is coming out. They changed it so it would be a month earlier, which is kind of nice for two reasons. First of all, I know there's a lot of people that do Christmas cards early, unlike myself. And I think I'm going to stick with coral because I really like the coral with those greens. I almost wish I would have done it in between the two, like dark coral green, but what you gonna do? But also, aside from the people who like to make their Christmas cards really early, I know there are also people who like to buy things to give to teachers. And if you can't order the stuff and then shipping, you know, because how everything is with shipping these days, it kind of makes it a little bit, this was even before COVID, a little bit of a lag just with getting your supplies on time. So I'm kind of happy with it. I'll have more time to play with the fall and Halloween stuff. So for me, I'm pleased because I'm hoping I'll also be able to use a little bit more of the stuff. All right, so we're going to stop there. And I'm going to put this, just put these two together. Now, since I have the coral out, I'm just going to do that. So what I did was I just picked the two, I guess these are like the leaves of the bamboo that come out. And I'm going to just stamp these in a couple places. It's pretty random. I didn't do anything really in any orderly of a fashion. Clean that one. And we'll go back over to the pear. And then I actually might stamp the olive off because that is pretty dark. So pear. And again, I just kind of varied where they were. It kind of looks like there's a pattern, but honestly, really, I kind of just was pretty willy-nilly with it. And let's get out. So that was pear pizzazz. Let me just grab the old olive. Hi, Denise. Jack is doing very well. Jack weighs 87 pounds these days. I have to put a picture of him on my Facebook page. He's currently napping because he is, right now, I guess he's used to me talking to no one when I make these videos finally, that he kind of has calmed down a little bit. Because in the beginning, when I would make videos, he'd be barking, thinking someone was here he was missing. Which is kind of hilarious in itself, but all right, that looks pretty good. I probably could have pulled this in a little bit. So what I'm going to do with my, where is my old olive marker? I'm going to just try not to put my arm in this. I'm just going to give this like a little bend here so it kind of connects, because otherwise it kind of looks like it's floating off in space. I see, looks like I did the same thing with this one as well. Wasn't really so precise with some of my stamping. That's not too bad. Which I'm really doubting anyone's going to even notice this, but you know how sometimes we do things as crafters more for ourselves. We know really probably is anybody going to pay attention to that? Not really, but especially if you're a person who likes to make things a certain way and you have to have that slight aspect of perfection in it. There you go. So that looks pretty good. Let me just clean these off. Yes, Jack is very large. He's very lovable. Him and Christian have been having a wonderful time. So we are so glad that we brought Jack into our life. All right, so I think I'm going to add a little something in here. Let me just take a peek of what else we could possibly pop in there. I guess, see, I feel like I could pop this, and I'm assuming this is the direction that it goes. I'm going to just run this up the side, but I wish I knew what this meant. Has anybody found out what this means? Because it would be helpful. I think I'm going to put this I'm going to run it up the one side. I'm just going to repeat the stamp, and I'm going to do it in pear, so it's a little bit lighter. But Jack is doing super well. Christian is very happy that school is over. Rainbow Stamper hasn't stamped in quite some time now. I'm sure you've noticed. He always talks about it, and then when we get down to it, he's kind of like, I don't know. I guess that's how boys are at this age, maybe. That kind of looks really cool. I really like that. That would be really cool that worked out really well as a pattern. I like it a lot. And then I am going to go with, I don't know if I want to go with black or with gray. So let me take a look. And I might do a different sentiment because I've already done the Caring Thoughts. I really don't know about the So Loved of what I would need that for. So let me just pull these off, and I'm taking a peek here, seeing what I could use. I do like the bamboo. Bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that breaks. True friend. I'm going to do that. We'll do the True Friend. That one is here. Let's do that one. All right, and I think I'm going to do it in gray because I feel like black is just a bit too much for this. Now, one other thing you could do, and if you were going to do this only because I really re-inked my Old Olive, I almost would do it in maybe a Versamark. But what you can also do, I'm going to fold this really quickly so I can show you what I mean. There's my bone folder. I'm hoping to maybe be on here once a week, but it's going to just be whenever it may be, because every time I say something, I never do it. So I have to stop doing that. It's driving me crazy that I'm saying stuff and I'm not doing it. I'm going to come back one more time with this. And so what you can do is, if you don't ever have the specific color, so say you're new to stamping and you don't have Old Olive, what you can do is you can use Versamark and it'll give you a watermark effect. The only thing is when you do it up here, sometimes when you get that ledge from your fold here, because if not, you're going to stamp it onto the back of the card, which I guess probably would be okay. But you can kind of bring this in and it'll give you like a watermark look. And I'm only going to do this right here at the bottom. I'm going to open this one up when I do it because we only have that little bit showing. But it kind of gives you like a little something extra to your card. There we go. And so that is Versamark ink. Versamark is a sticky ink. This is great for embossing. Also, if you might not necessarily have the color of embossing powder you want, what you can do is you can stamp in Versamark, stamp in your ink color, and then stamp in and add clear embossing powder, and then you have any color that you like. So that's another quick tip. So what we're planning on doing is this is going to go here, and then you can kind of see that little, I'm going to have to trim this. I think no, it's on there. I was going to say, it looks like I overcompensated a little bit, but then you have that little bit behind there. This is going to go on the inside of our card. So the only thing we need, let's see if I can find, oh, I know where one is. Just a little scrap of white for our sentiment. So I wanted to do this one, but I think I might do this in basic gray because black just feels like it might be a teeny bit too dark. And just for the sake of, maybe I might use the whole thing. I don't really know what I'm going to cut it out with yet. I'm going to stamp it in the center. Yeah, that's nice. That way, if I wanted to do, let's go this way. Okay. If I want to do a different shape. So we have, I feel like you might need something long because I feel like that would look nicer. I just wonder if that's a little too big. We could also do a partial, you know what? I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to do a partial. So what I'll do is trim this side off, and then I'm going to cut a little piece, and let me see if I can locate. I'm going to wipe these off really quickly so I can just put this away. I'm going to see if I can locate that beautiful glimmer paper that I have. Should be right here. Okay, so this is 6 by 6, and again, it comes in rose gold, which is very pretty, but I think I'm going to just use gold. I swore I had a partial piece left, but I must have used it. So I'm just going to cut a piece out of this. So I'm going to go die cut those two things. So I'm going to cut this here and then this one out of this. Move these guys over. I do need a little piece of Post-it tape. So what I think I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to mark the flag so it's really close to the end. And then when we come back over, I'm going to just trim this a little bit shorter. And then this one, I'm going to just run just like that. So just let me die cut these. Alrighty. So I have this. The one thing about this gold, just to note this to yourself, this looks like it's adhesive backed, but it's not. So it almost makes it just a teeny bit like you have to peel it away from the edge. And it does not have adhesive backing on it. It's very deceiving because it seems like it would, but it doesn't. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim that off straight there. So put these back over here. Put my... But the nice part is if you're using this as accent pieces, boy, you could get a lot of stuff out of that. I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to just do my very best not to botch this up. I'm going to just cut straight, dot to dot. That looks good. And then what I'm going to do is probably just layer this behind it, and then we'll just trim off that little extra piece there. I do still think I want to add a little bit of ribbon. And I have so many ribbons that I know are just retired, but really pretty. I think I might use this one just because I know it's retired, but I'm sure you guys probably have retired ribbon that you haven't used either, right? So I can't be the only person. So what I'm going to do, I love using the Stampin' Seal Plus. This is probably the only thing I use this for. Not BSing you. This is true. I like the Stampin' Seal Plus. I don't like the Stampin' Seal because I feel like I constantly rip my paper. But this stuff works really well. Especially, this is what I specifically use it for. If I am, putting... And let me fold that one over. That should have gone that way. If I am putting a ribbon on, what I usually do is I use this to anchor it. I'll show you what I mean. You don't want to pull your card so you make it bow. So make sure when you pull something that you're pretty flat with it. Press it down flat on your work surface and then snip it. Because you can go back and adjust this if need be. So just in case you're wondering what this is the Iridescent, I think it was, the Snowflake Splendor. This is probably from just this past Christmas catalog. But you never know. It could be on the clearance rack. I mean, who knows, right? So I do that. And I want to make sure that this is lined up enough. And it's to the point where it's not pulling, so that's good. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over here, but I'm going to put this piece behind it. So I'm just going to snip the very end of this off because I know I need a flat edge. And then this piece will just stick just like that. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals only because it's a little bit easier to hold, because I don't want to make you have to stand here and wait for me to dry it out or hold it till it adheres, I guess I should say. And the other thing I've been using is the little mini dimensionals. I use these big wedges on the end. I got to tell you, I love mini dimensionals until I don't. Anybody else feel that way? I feel like they're super helpful, but when you are all out of dimensionals and that's the only thing you have and you're like, man. Oh, you know, one other thing I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to put a teeny bit of glue. If I can get it to come out. Hold on, I have a little boogie here on my glue. Because I want to make sure I line this up correctly. And if you put a little bit of glue, it almost gives you like a slippery surface to work with. Because I want to make sure this is in the middle. But at the end, yep, middle. And I'm just trying to make sure that this lines up here. So it looks pretty good. So it gives you the ability to have a really sticky glue, but you can kind of wiggle it around if you need to adjust it for a little bit. Now, one other thing you could do if you wanted to, if this bothers you, you could take some mini glue dots, and I usually only try to do it in one area where it's covered because otherwise you kind of can see it. So I'm going to pick up a glue dot, and I'm putting it right here just to kind of hold that in place since that's the area where my sentiment is going to go. And this might seem like a lot of work for a simple card, but sometimes it's in the details, right? And then I'm going to take, once again, I'm going to take my liquid glue. Come on, there you are. And I'm going to set this right on top of this. And I want to make sure, I'm going to press this to hold, but I want to make sure, whoops, this one's stuck to the bottom here. There's a little glue on the back from that adhesive. I want it to be lined up in the center. Pull up my silicone mat for a change. But I also want it to be on the edge. So I'm just going to hold this. I'm kind of holding on the spot where the dimensional is. Only should take a second. There you go. That way it's lined up over the ribbon and it's lined up to the edge of this. Okay, so now the only thing we have to do is just put this into our card base, or onto the front, I should say. I'm gonna leave that set to dry just for another moment. I'm gonna put this here. Just add the inside. Man, sometimes I amaze myself with the little things I pull off. Just that little repeated pattern there is, I probably have never even used that stamp before. And I still am dying. I'm gonna have to go back and check and see what it says. Your whole craft room. See, you got plenty of tired stuff then, Sherry. That's perfect. You think yours is, so is mine. The only thing, I've been trying to kind of limit the amount of stuff I buy, because I do, as I was saying earlier about the whole thing with the sentiments, is I only buy stuff. Occasionally I've bought stuff that I was like, oh, everyone's going to love this. I don't do that any longer. But I've been trying to limit because I have so much stuff, and there's things that I really don't want to get rid of. So now I'm like, okay, do I really want this? So that's why I haven't done my pre-order yet, because I have stuff in my cart that I know I'm going to like. Of course, there's a really adorable train set. I had to buy that because I knew Rainbow Stamper would love it, even though he's kind of growing out of the trains a little bit. But I was like, he's going to love it. I'm going to have to buy it. I think I'm going to put one more little dimensional. I'm going to slide it underneath of this thing. So I have stuff in my cart. I have the paper in there. That's really what I'm waiting for, because I know we have a paper share coming up, but we can't order stuff until a certain time for the share. So I'm kind of trying to bide my time with all of those things. So I just pay shipping one time. You all know what I mean for that one, I'm sure. Ooh, things are jumping down at me. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So this is our finished card. So I do like this one a lot. You know, now that I'm looking at this, I realize I stamped that on shimmer paper. And that's even better because it's on shimmer paper. So that was like a whole added touch with the shimmery everything. That was just a complete coincidence, because I don't even think I had that out. Because that's just definitely Thick Whisper White. That was the other thing I ran out of, was Thick Whisper White, or Thick White, or whatever the heck it is we're calling it these days, because I had like 2 packs of Whisper White, which is the thinner paper, left, and I thought, all right, well, that's it. I'm using those, and then I'm moving on to, I usually like the thick, because that way you can use it for card base, or you can use it for your insides or whatever. So that's what I did. But I'm like, what kind of stamper runs out of white? I mean, that just goes to show you, we've been doing a lot of stamping lately, or me filling in the insides of cards is probably more likely, because we have thank you and graduation season upon us, which a lot of people get cards from me for those 2 occasions, so that's probably why. But so, do you have a favorite of these cards? I really do like this one. I like the fact that the Old Olive is definitely much darker, even though I kind of thought the greens next to each other I really wouldn't like, but I do. So we did Pear Pizzazz, Old Olive, Calypso Coral. And this one down here is Mint, Olive, and Coral. Here I ended up, I think I said that was Polished Pink. And then this one was, that one, oh, this was Flirty Flamingo. Yeah. So I ended up going with the coral because I liked it better. But I think all the ribbons look nice. I do love Old Olive. I think this one is a little bit inky. This is probably the best one I made. This one, ironically, is the one that was made after Card Club. You can tell because the ink is kind of like, oh, there's not much left in here. So this was probably optimum ink because it gives you a lot of detail after Club when it needs to be re-inked, and right after re-inking. And I didn't actually push it down like I normally do with the spoon. So you can tell a huge difference in there, but I really love the inside of that card. I might have to do that for the rest of them just so they're in there. And I need to find out what that little sentiment says. But I want to thank you all so very much for joining me. Hi, Colette. Nice to see you. I'm going to check the comments just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Evernote. That's a good idea, Cindy. I've heard people doing that, but that's going to require me to have to look through all these stamp sets. And I'm going to tell you, you know me, that's probably not going to happen. So I need to find somebody who's willing to share their notes with me. This is your favorite one, Kathy. I like that one as well. All right, let me just go back really quickly. I'm going to scroll through the comments. If you haven't already, and maybe you might be new here, give me a thumbs up. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Definitely leave a comment. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you have a stamp set that you're dying to see made, into a card, please let me know, because, you know, I love looking for new ideas for requests. And, you know, I want to show you one other thing, too, before we get going here, only because this is an easy thing to share. But let me just check. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Well, Debbie, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your trip with your daughter. And please be careful on your journey home. Thank you, Mary Ellen, for visiting from California and sharing. I appreciate it. And Karen and Kathy, it was nice to see you ladies. And Denise, nice to see you as well. Let's see what else we have here. All right, I think that's it. Lots of work to first, but save times hunting. That is a good point, Kathy. I just need to apparently get my rear in gear, as my mom used to say. So one other thing I wanted to show you, and I know this is a really old card, but I definitely have a tutorial. I have to find where it is, but I'm sure if you search graduation cards. But my neighbor, he's my neighbor too, so I'll say the neighbor's son, but he's my neighbor. He just graduated. And these, ironically, are very close to their colors for the high school they graduated from. So they just got back from a trip after graduation. So I'm going to give him this card. I'm going to give him a little something with it. But I thought this was really cute. If you need to make a quick card, you can make the little tassel out of, you take baker's twine and you kind of unravel it so it's thinner. But this is, I'm pretty sure it is 4 1/4. Just make sure I'll tell you really quickly. Yep, 4 1/4. I'm gonna go with lengthwise. I'm pretty sure it's a half a sheet of cardstock, but a little bit less because you're not really using all of it. 4 1/4 by like 9 3/4. But this will fit into a regular envelope. So this is a really cute graduation card. Now the only thing I think I might do to it is I might put a little patch on the back, just like a sleeve to pop some cash in there, because I really don't know where he would take a gift card to. But it does fit because these are regular size envelopes, so it will fit into a regular envelope. And even though this has a little bit of fold to it, I don't think it should take much more postage than this. But, you know, 'tis the season for graduations. This is probably a super old stamp. I have to find it. I know I own it somewhere, but I have absolutely no idea where. But again, I really need to find that because this is a great, great stamp. I don't know what set it's in. It's probably on one of these shelves here somewhere, but it's adorable. So I'm going to give this out. I thought this was really cute. There's another way that you can make another fold card that actually it will, it's like a corner cabinet, if you will, and it stands up. That's another way that you can make a really cool graduation card too. But I thought this was really simple. It's just a little bit of cross scoring. It's really not that difficult because this is your half mark. So if you were to, like, this is your half a card, and then you're just scoring on the diagonal. So super, super simple. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys in case you were looking for a card. I will see if I can search through my videos here and pull up the tutorial. This is probably really old, so it's probably me being awkward because it was when I just started doing videos. So be nice. Oh, just kidding. I hope you guys have, I mean, right? Isn't that great? It's a great, easy card. I mean, and then the other part that just coincidentally is nice is this is already in his school colors. So that's even better. But it's just, you know, square, black square, white to offset it. And then whatever, maybe whatever their colors are, you could do the base and the complementary color. So easy peasy. But I thank you all so much for watching. Cottage wreaths. That does sound new, Karen. Hold on. Let me peek in here real quick and I'll tell you. I'm fairly certain that is a new stamp set. Hold on. Whoops. Oh, there's one that is, yes, it is new, Karen. It's actually Stamps and Dies. It has a coordinating thing. That has amazing plaid DSP, which I will be buying. Ooh, it's 12 by 12 too. That's awesome. It's gingham DSP. Super pretty. I'll tell you the colors: red, blushing bride, pumpkin pie, garden green, mint macaron, and basic black, plus obviously white and gray. So, 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 so cute. But the cottage wreaths, they have a lot of those builder wreaths, which I think are nice. I just wish they had them a little bit sooner. But it does have some really adorable coordinating stuff with it. So that's amazing, if you ask me. It's got spiders. You can make a Halloween wreath, fall wreath. Really any season, spring, Christmas, adorably cute. But I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. If you have So Sentimental, oh, I love So Sentimental. Oh, confetti is? And okay. Well, see, now I know. Now I just need to find out where that daggone graduation hat was from, because I know that was from something, but I can't really exactly remember what. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I will try to be back again next week. I don't really know exactly what time, so don't hold me to anything. But I thank you very much for watching. I would love, if you have something you want to buy, you can certainly shop in my online store. I appreciate it. It's rachthestamper.stampinup.net. Your catalog, since I got mine, your catalog should be coming soon. So mine came yesterday, so that was 6/13. So and again, I'm in Maryland, East Coast, which we usually get them a little bit later. So hopefully everyone should be starting to get theirs. And then the celebration is inside of that, which that starts next month on July 1st. But lots of cute stuff. There's some hippos there. I know we have some hippo lovers, some really nice DSP as well. Thank you guys very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again really soon. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.